You are knowing what you're wanting? Sometimes it is clearer than others, yes? And have you noticed that the contrast that you are living helps it to become more and more clear? And are you appreciating that contrast? Yes? No, you're really not. You're really not. But you could, and the sooner that you do, the less uncomfortable the contrast will be, the more beneficial it will be to you, the more clarifying it will be to you, the faster it will morph into the wanted side of the equation. Do you know that you are the creator of your own reality? Yes. Those are good words. Do they mean anything to you, really? Meaning that you are the vibrational attractor. You prepare a vibration that emanates from you, and law of attraction responds to it, sorts everything out, and brings you back things that match the signal that you're offering. Do you believe you have control of your signal? Really? Well, it's been really, really nice visiting with you. So you have control of your signal because you understand that you are offering a vibration and that you can read it or monitor it, be aware of it by the emotions that you are feeling. Is that how you've got that going on? So, do you understand that you are a blended being? Do you understand that you are more than this physical being who sits here as a clump on a chair? Beautiful clumps that you are. So there is a larger part of you that even while you are here focused in this physical body, still exists and knows and vibrates and offers and is at all times a big part of your point of attraction. Oh, we haven't said it that way before. Did you know it anyway? You kind of do, don't you? That larger part of you, you were non-physical energy before you came into this physical body. And even though you are now in this physical body, that larger part of you is still offering a vibrational signal. And that vibrational signal that is being offered is still an important part of your point of attraction, because you can never separate yourself from you. You can never be born into an environment. You can never do anything that separates yourself from that point of view. But you can, by virtue of what you're giving your attention to, conjure or affect or cause a vibrational offering that, as it blends with that point of view, gives you feedback on how well the blending is going on. Oh, that's a good way to say that, isn't it? So if you are feeling elation, really nice blending. What you're focused upon is really in harmony with what the source within you is focused upon, and there is no vibrational resistance going on. It would be instead what we would call allowing, the allowing of the fullness of who you are in your physical body, and the larger part of you are blending, are coinciding, are harmoniously co-creating. And the immediate benefit to you is the emotion that you feel. So if you're feeling fear or anxiety or frustration or anger, if you're feeling grief or sadness, if you're feeling anything that you would describe as a negative emotion, it's only giving you information about your blending. It's not saying that your inner being has gone away. It's not saying that the larger part of you has abandoned you. In fact, it's saying the opposite. It is because the larger part of you is emanating such a strong, consistent signal that you are even ever able to ever we wanted to punctuate that, feel negative emotion. The only reason that you can ever feel negative emotion is because there is a larger part of you offering a vibration that has a different frequency. Don't you love knowing that? So if it were your intention every day or every moment of every day, those are high standards and we would not ask you to hold yourself to them. But if it were your intention frequently to be aware of the way you feel and to really care about the way you feel. And in any moment that you have awareness of negative emotion, if you were to do whatever you could do in that moment to do something about releasing that negative emotion, which really just means withdraw your focus from whatever is causing the contradiction. Ooh, we like the way that sounds too. Withdraw your focus from whatever it is that's causing the contradiction. The contradiction to what? The contradiction to who you really are and what you really know. The contradiction to the evolution of who you really are. So we want to explain that briefly here. Most of you know it, but you were source energy before you came into this physical body, and a part of you is focused. A part of that source energy is focused into the personality that you know as you. So as you're here, mixing it up with others, living in this magnificent leading edge time-space reality, you come across many things that help you to know what you don't prefer, which helps you to more clearly know what you do prefer. You know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And in all of that synthesizing of life, you are offering these rockets of desire that the larger part of you is receiving every one of them. When someone is rude to you, you want them to be nicer. In fact, you often want the whole world to be a nicer place. When you're rude, you want to be nicer. In fact, you want the whole world to recognize you as a nice part of this nice world. And so when you don't have enough of something that you want it. Life experience helps you to offer these vibrational requests. And the source within you receives these requests. Not only receives them, but becomes them. It's what the book that we wrote a few years ago called Ask and It Is Given was really highlighting, that when you ask, you become a vibrational equivalent of what you've asked for. Or, better said, in this leading edge environment, and especially easy for you here, given what we just were talking about the two parts of you and the way your emotions feel, when that rocket of desire emanates from you, the larger part of you becomes a vibrational equivalent of that. And now you have a new vibrational emotional, but it's vibration and the emotion is the indicator of it, standard. In other words, this experience that you just lived caused an expansion of that which is you. And if you are really well blended, you're up to speed with the expansion right now. If you're not so well blended, then you're not up to speed with the expansion right now. If you're blended with it, you feel great. If you're not blended with it, you feel not so great. So in every moment, you've got that, we don't want to call it feedback, although you could. We want to call it a presiding, dominant, vibrational beingness that represents all that you have become. And you just caused it to become more because of the contrast you just lived. But if you're like most, you didn't go with it, not right away and not right at first. Because the contrast that caused your clarification that you want something more is in most cases still so active in your experience and still has so much of your attention that if you're like most humans, you're still beating the drum of why you want that. I really want that, and I really deserve that, and I think I should get that because this is not right. Because this thing that I don't want is so big, I know that I want that. I want that because I don't want this. There are others, Abraham, who don't want this either. We have groups. None of us want this. We gather together in association with others, religious associations, political associations, all kinds of clubs. We join together in order to make our point clear that this will not do. And we say, heard you the first time. You didn't have to explain one bit more than that your personal life experience gave you the information that you needed in order to conclude that you preferred this to this. And in the moment that that preference is born, the source within you and everything that is gives undivided attention to your new expanded point of view and holds the vibrational frequency of that higher frequency that you've carved out. And unless you do the same, you're not going to feel so good. Abraham, I hope I didn't hear what you just said. Are you saying that because life caused me to expand and I wasn't ready to take the expansion right away, that my negative emotion is my indicator that a part of me expanded and the physical part of me didn't go along? And we say, yep. that's exactly what happened every time. You never feel a negative emotion that is for any other reason. Sometimes it seems like it as you look out at the things in the world that cause you to feel bad. You say, when I look at this unwanted thing, I feel bad. So shouldn't that unwanted thing be fixed? Shouldn't it go away? Shouldn't I push hard enough? Can't I push hard enough against unwanted things to make them go away? We say, not in this universe that is based on inclusion. Not in this universe that's based on attraction. You cannot push anything away. Your attention to it invites it to you. Your attention to it causes you to offer a vibration. And if the vibration that you offer because of your attention to it harmonizes with the perspective of your broader self, then you feel really good. And that's your guidance saying, we would go for this if we were you. We would continue to give attention to this good feeling thing. Because you lived enough life to carve it out, and we've lived enough life to have seen the benefit of what you have carved out. And the reason that it feels so good is because it is a good choice. You've chosen the best from the situation, and you've activated a vibration about it, and the universe is expanded because of it, and we are all a vibrational part of it. What part do you want to play? And often, without speaking words, what you emanate vibrationally says something like, well, I don't want to play fully with all that I have desired. I think I'll stand over here in the absence of it and beat the drum of that a little longer. And we say, that's all right. That really is all right. In fact, it's so all right that you'll just keep emanating more rockets of desire. You're putting so much vibration out there into what will be your future manifestation. The world is going to be a much better place because of the contrast you've lived and all the rockets that you've shot off. We just don't think that you should deprive yourself so long from the decisions that you are making on behalf of the well-being of all that is. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we'd shoot off a rocket and then we'd align with it, and we'd experience the benefit of our newfound freedom and of our newfound desire, you see. You are the creator of your reality. You are the creator of that which happens to you. But you are an influencer, and you are an instigator, and you are a synthesizer of contrast, and you are important to the evolution of all that is. And we're here to visit with you in this arena that we are calling the art of allowing. The art of allowing me in my physical form, and it is an art. It's a practiced art. The discovery of the way to be in the world and receive the best of all that has been carved out of it, here and now. All of your power is right now, because all of your perception is right now. We just want to awaken within you a memory of this perception that is the larger part of you. When you well up with love that is unspeakable, that's because the larger part of you is focused in that way, and you are harmonizing with that perspective and allowing the fullness of all of that love to flow through you. And when you feel something less than that, then it just means that you've got some vibration going on. And we're not saying it's not justified. We know there are things that you see that you do not like, and you came into this environment to choose among them. The process of creation was very well known to you. You knew that it would be basically a 3-step process, that life and contrast would cause you to ask, specifically and personally to you, for you. You knew you would ask. And you knew that step 2 would be taken care of automatically, because that's that rocket that shoots off, and that's that source that takes vibrational alignment with that rocket. In other words, vibrationally speaking, everything that you've asked for has become. We've coined this understanding that it is held in what we are calling a vortex of creation. You shoot off the rocket, and law of attraction tends to it, and it's held in a vibrational, we call it a vortex because law of attraction is gathering all cooperative components, and it's all in motion, and the point of attraction is vivid. But step 3 is the part that most of our human friends are a little weak on, and mostly it's because you haven't understood it. That once you launch that rocket, if you are to experience the benefit of what life has caused you to carve out, then you must become vibrationally equivalent to the rocket that you've launched. And that really is what we are calling the art of allowing. It really is what we have been calling going into the vortex. It's what we're calling raising your vibration. It's what we're calling releasing resistance. It's when you stop doing that thing that you've been doing that is holding you out of the frequency of who you are.